Raindrops keep falling. How you doing, everybody? Little B.J. Thomas, Billy Joel Thomas, grew up in the Houston area, oddly enough, and I like B.J. He was a good dude. And anyway, welcome everybody. It's Hump Day. It's Wednesday here all day long. I believe I saw Julianne down there. Jules, I think you probably are Thursday. So there you go. How you doing, Jules? I've had you on my thoughts, and I love what you're writing. If y'all are in the chat room and you can actually see it, go and check it out. She really has some good things going on. Hey, Nina, a mistake. Make sure y'all join her 1 p.m. West Coast time. Me too, mine. 4, I guess, East Coast. Hey, David Barry, what's up? Robin, good to see you. Lost in Space, Deborah Sloan, Lynn, Donna, good to see you. Empower Rex, Loretta, Caitlin, Catherine, Linda, good to see you. Martin and Heidi, Doug, how is everybody? I just speak favor over all of us. Be of service to others, but learn to love yourself first. You got a birthday? Happy birthday to it. And we are prospering, abounding. We really are. I mean, it's remarkable. I really dig these. I got 3 of them that Ariel. Big Al, how soon do you think that we'll have the angel cards ready to go? Hey, Guy and Paul. Chloe, good to see you. Let's see what else. Hey, Ronnie. So, Angel of Fortune and Support. Ariel is the Angel of Revelations. Manichael is Angel of Knowledge of Good and Evil. And Aladai is the Angel of Divine Grace. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. They love it, man. They really do. They really enjoy it when, you say, hey, y'all remember us? If you look at this in a certain point of view, they are either older than us, a reflection of us, an alien species that can be both benevolent and malevolent. I don't know. Some say they serve a certain god. I don't know about that. Who knows? I kind of like Alexander's point of view. Alexander the Great. We welcome all the gods. I mean, I don't know if there is one. Actually, I was meditating on this morning. So I am consciousness. That I do know that. At least the perception is. As the song says in The Threshold of a Dream, I think, therefore I am. I think. And of course, the recording comes in and it says, of course you are, my bright little star. You're nothing but ink. Well, surely I must be more than that. I think. There you go, man. Be as calm as you can be. It riles them to believe that you perceive that you are real. Dun, 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 dun. Man, I'm going to tell you, you see, that's why the Mandela effect doesn't work so well on some of us. I mean, and we're just, it's something, but it's not going to change the way I feel about it. So, Sidiel is the angel today. I love that name. Sidiel. Sitael. This is the angel of construction of the universe. Now, this is an angel. I'd sit down and I'd make us a beautiful meal, get a very good bottle of wine, and really would enjoy talking to this angel. This Deus Septus. I like that. The God of hope of all creatures. All right, so we're learning Latin here. Deus Septus. Yeah. Deus being God. Septus being the creation, universe, the patron Project managers, planners, constructors, construction workers, strategists, inventors, architects, builders, and engineers. Well, how about that? There's an angel for everybody. The great architect and engineer of the divine, upright leader and administrator of power to expand. Oh, I like this. All right, everybody, how much, hey, David Barry, think about this one, brother. How much power would you like today to expand? What would you like to expand into? There's a question. Bestows upon us the power of growth, symbol of responsibility and practice, watches over construction. This angel is the master builder. Wow. Pretty cool. Teaches how to achieve success and reap the fruits of your labor. Don't let no one, the most valuable thing you have is your time. So cherish it, value it, and others will value it as well. Gives the strength to manage, to gives administrative abilities, rules matter of conception. Now that's interesting. Rules matter of conception, provides with negotiation skills, acts upon problems related to implementing a project, protects you from lack of preparation, helps you build up your family, teaches to honor and give word of the given word, brings generosity and clemency. Wow. Guides you on the path of honesty and integrity. The world could use a little bit more of that in abundance. Shows how to recognize mistakes and eliminate karmatic debts. I like this angel. Nathan, I left his link to get these cards. I saw that Robert V got them as well. These are great cards, Robert. You'll really enjoy them. Fills with the energies of nobility, clarity, and forgiveness. Provides the courage necessary to face adversity. Helps in situations like lies, lack of honesty, lack of preparation, and organization. Bam, baby. Love of that angel. Wow. Sidiel. How wonderful. Angel of construction of the universe. There you go. I was just thinking about this earlier, is that, we're all here, at least in this realm, this reality, whatever that may entail, for brief periods of time. I'm just reading Janie's thing there. Well, we just speak healing over that. Yes. Epidurals are not fun. Spinal taps. Lumbar punctures. I know I've had approximately 13 of them. And when I had meningitis, I'll tell you that, there you go. There's some memories going, all right, now how am I going to find any joy in that? But my point to all this is that we're here. And then I'm just thinking, all right, so Steiger, in my journey here, I've known lots of gods, but I don't ever think that there is a God, the God, in the sense, because if it can be a God, that means there's something above it. So I kind of look at, consciousness. I mean, that's really what defines us, isn't it? I mean, your experiences, I wrote this down. Our experiences are our own. They become both joy and sadness, but yet we always look upon them with fondness. When you think about some of the hardest times in your life, like being homeless. I know what that is. Been there, done that. And the thing that I gained from that experience, because in a sense, I've been homeless all my life. I mean, Harris County Child Welfare saw their brilliance was to put a 15-year-old, make him his own adult, and put him on the street. So I kind of grew up with uncertainty. I never had any parents. The ones that I knew, it was always yanked out from underneath me. My point to all this, many of us have walked that same path. But it taught me a lesson, is the fact that I came in with nothing, but I am leaving with far more than what I could ever equate to material possessions. I am leaving much more prosperous than I came in. I am leaving much more wealthier than I could have ever imagined. And I take with me, as you will, a lifetime of experiences. That's prospering. That's favor. And we all possess that. It's our own special place, I guess. When we leave here, we leave with that. You leave with all those experiences. And I'm not sure what the other side holds. I've seen what I believe to have been glimpses of it. But when you get back to this God, the consciousness, I see it as consciousness. And I asked this consciousness, I said, all right. So I'm going to go with this, that, and I say you, because I don't know how to otherwise address. I mean, how do you address a consciousness? Do you assign it a personification, a personality? What would that personality be like? Most likely it's going to be a reflection of you. That's weird. Think about it. So you're meeting the first original consciousness. And I was thinking in my meditation time, okay, and I said, all right, original consciousness, I'm going to take it that you're all knowing. So the question is, have you ever shared everything you know? I don't think so. And then I thought, well, why all this? I mean, this plane, this temporal existence. I live in a corporeal body. Many different ideas, avatar, I don't know. I just know what I know. May not be what you know, but no matter, it's what I know. And as I continue this journey, I become more, how shall we say, fascinated by the complexity of the surroundings. And then when you take this, and this is fact, the average person only takes in a small percentage of what really is going on around them. I read that it's something less than 20%. The brain can't handle too much. So it takes everything upon the construct that you've built. And so I was asking this consciousness, I said, all right, so if you know everything, you apparently haven't shared it. Why? You know, when you hear that song of silence, patience is the best thing. Sometimes the best thing most people could do is buy duct tape and put it over your mouth. Shut up. And when you're meditating, shut up. If you ask a question, shut up. Quiet your mind. And listen. It may come in a second. It may come in an hour. But anyway, I digress. It became interesting because the whole reason for existence is to experience. Otherwise, it has no meaning. And I do believe that there is an original consciousness, but here's what I heard. It doesn't know everything. It is like us. It came into being, I guess you could say, on a different level. But what it immediately did was begin to create other thought forms. And that's what we are. So anyway, there's Jules. Silence is golden and duct tape is silver. Jules, now we just need a little lace and a little leather. Isn't that how the song goes, I think? Well, Austin, very kind of you. Very kind of you. All of y'all have changed my life. I mean, I'm a richer spirit, much more richer because of the experience that all of you have provided to me. And, the ups and the downs and the all crazy turnarounds. We put the right leg in and we put the left leg out. We do the hokey pokey and we do it all about, and we dig it. We love the dance. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's the dance. Sometimes we dance alone. Sometimes we dance with a partner. Sometimes we dance with a group. Other times we'll dance in a line. Sometimes we'll form a line. But we love it. No matter what comes along the line, we're all in line. So there, boom. I love it, man. I'll tell you, it's messed up out there. So many emails, so many people being forced into something that, this is not just an issue for humanity. There's something parallel going on a cosmic scale as well. There's the same thing, because what's happening here is a representation of what's in the other realms. And you start looking at that and you're going, So I still contend that if quantum jumping is taking place, and I'm reaching out to a wonderful spirit being, a wonderful woman who someone recommended, and she's been at this for a long time, and she says what we're experiencing, we've been experiencing much longer than what we realize. What kind of ties into what we were saying yesterday is that, how would you know? The best thing I can think of is in the movie, what was it? What was it? The Best of Both Worlds, I think. And that's wrong. It's not. It's the Borg. When Picard, the Enterprise, were faced with the Borg, and an enemy they can't beat, an enemy that is organic, but also has a spirit to it. It's the interesting thing about the Borg. When you get assimilated, what you didn't realize, what Gene was writing, was that they assimilated your soul. And the thing about it is, what they found with each being that they assimilated into their hive, their collectiveness, there was still that small part of you knowing that there's nothing you can do about this. That's weird. But anyway, the scene is in 10 Forward with Whoopi Goldberg and Jean-Luc Picard. And he's talking with Ganya, and she has the ability to be aware in multi-dimensions, multiple timelines. And that was really interesting because it tells me that I think that's where we are right now. Something broke. I don't know what it is, but something broke. And I don't think that this is the end. I think we're going to continue on this. We'll probably have this conversation. And I read someone wrote yesterday that they were talking to their man friend and they were watching the movie Dark City. Great movie, by the way. Love the movie. But the person's friend didn't remember ever watching it. And she remembers that they watched it very recently. And so now I'm waking up going, okay, am I in the right timeline? Did we jump overnight? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out that, do we get the proverbial send us a note, the message in the bottle thing? Yeah. Martin, I swear if we could actually see it, it would freak us out. Well, it would freak out most people. For me, it would probably be like a trip on LSD. And the thing about LSD, and particularly taking it when I was using it and experimenting with it, at a very 15, 16, 17, the thing that I had to learn very quickly is that you see into multiple dimensions. It's far out. The first thing you start feeling the effect is, and when you realize that you're suddenly expanding consciously into other dimensions, is when you start seeing, for instance, paisleys undulating over the entire, everything you look. There was one girl I remember, I was living at Family Connection, Kathleen Smith, still remember this. And I was really tripping. And the thing about it is, it's when I was really experiencing the full effect, people began to change. And the interesting thing about Kathleen Smith, she was a rich bitch. That's all I can say. She was just not a pleasant person. And she suddenly started growing these big ears. And then y'all remember, what was it? The fruit gum stripes. And she started getting these white and green stripes across her. And I'm right there right now, standing on the stairs. And she kept looking at me and she says, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "I see the real you." Anyway, get to my point to all this. That is what I really think is that if most people could see it, if we could actually perceive it, it's what I think we would actually see. Anyway, shall we move on? Hey, True Jenny, I saw you and Steve on earlier. Didn't get to spend a long time, but I did stop there and visit. Susie Q, what's up? Good to see you, dear. Here we go. Boy, what an afternoon. Well, hello, Cheryl, listening from Massachusetts. Well, thank you very much. Much love to you and favor to you, Cheryl. What else is going on? Well, at least the conversation is never dull. So, it's just very interesting. I tell you, I look back on those, and I can actually almost be there at nearly 50 years ago. And it's amazing how you can time travel there. Hey, hi, the Maelstrom. What's up? Steve, good to see you. Enjoyed the conversation. Like I said, I'll have to go back and listen to it all. I just got to Russ. And Russell, good to see you. Jules, thank you for all your gifts and talents. I just speak joy over you. Abundant protection. Dar Smile, watched from the fringe, Wayne. Sounds like something Walter would say. Oh, there you go. There you go. I love it. Hey, Danielle, time travel. That's exactly what it is. You can. What was it that Fire Sign Theater said in their one album? How can you be in two places at once when you're nowhere at all? And how many of you remember Fire Sign Theater? If you've never heard them, go listen. They're on YouTube. Listen to Nick Danger, or listen to the album We're All Bozos on This Bus. But anyway, how many, and I'm just curious in the chat room, how many people know it is a beautiful day, Teresa? Fire Sign Theater. Thank you. The Steiger perspective, I guess you're, Russell, what you're making. Yeah, I'm working on it right now. Yeah, yep. So let's see. Does anybody remember Fire Sign Theater? Oh my goodness. Nowhere. Wasn't it also in, what was it? One of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They went to nowhere. Nowhere is somewhere. Yeah. I'm trying to see this. Oh, Teresa's out listening as she's driving. No, that's cool. I guess a couple people do, but if you've never, Linda Brooks says, yeah. Check them out. That's the type of good humor. I'm telling you, when I'm replaying a couple of. So I pulled up a little bit about the dude I was talking about yesterday. He's Fomenko is brilliant mind. That's all I can say. He is an absolute genius. And I think that he's on to something here. He contends again that, and I guess I can just go up here so we bring this into context. Anatoly Fomenko, he believes that, in fact, that they've added about 1,000 years to our reality. And when you think about this, it really throws a whole wrench into the whole perception of time. And of course, everyone is, who's got a stake in this, of keeping the current line of history intact, will obviously attack anything that comes into challenging that. And the fact of the matter is, virtually every book today is a fraud. I mean, let's just take the big standard. Everyone talks about the Bible. That's a book of make-believe. It's a history that never happened. And it's in a time that never really took place. But yet, virtually most of the world will tell you, even the academics, the theologians, maybe even the atheists, I don't know. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's based upon real places. And how do you know? I mean, I haven't seen a picture of Jerusalem in the year 400 BCE. Can't show me one. You can't show me any of the people that the authors that supposedly, there's no way you can validate any of it. The Quran, the Torah, the Vedic. We live in a perception of a false-based reality that we're framed from the moment we come into, that begins to frame the construct. Now he goes on, and I'm not going to read all of this because obviously we're not going to cover it all. It's very deep, but I wanted to give you a little taste of this. He writes in here, the Roman chronology as the foundation of European chronology. Let us give a concise preliminary account of the current state of ancient and medieval chronology. The importance of chronology for historical science is all the greater since the discipline allows for the determination of the time interval between the historical event and the current era, provided it can be adequately translated into terms of contemporary chronology. That is to say, it is given a corresponding BC AD dating. Now, because we know this is part, I don't know if this is part of the realization or what, but remember, now you use BC or BCE, before the current event, or basically after the current event. Some AD, BC. Now, if you take the AD, then that's the church. And that's the problem. You see, that tells me that, no, wait a minute. Okay, so they're saying year zero is when this event took place. And there's no writing of it, at least no writing of an official nature of any of this ever taking place. But yet it is so ingrained that now it becomes our perception of time, history. Nearly all the fundamental historical conclusions depend on the dating of events described in the source that is being studied. An altered or imprecise dating of an event defines its entire interpretation and evaluation. The current global chronology model has evolved owing to the labor of several generations of chronologists and I think if I'm right in that, is that in like, seems to me to be the 17th through the 29th century, and has Julian calendar dating ascribed to all the major events of history. The dating of events referred to in some freshly discovered documents are predominantly based on the Roman chronology, since it is considered that all the other ancient chronological dating can be linked to our calendar via direct or indirect synchronisms with the Roman dates. In other words, Roman chronology and history are the spinal column of the consensual global chronology and history. This is why Roman history shall have to enjoy our very special attention. Now, he's going to get into this. I already read a little bit of this. Folks, again, we don't know the day. We don't know the day, the week, the month, the year. We live in make-believe land. It is not October 20th, 2021. We believe it's that, and because we can believe that, that's how we can backdate history. That's what they did to the Bible, the New Testament. It's an old Roman trick. Anyway, read Caesar's Messiah. You'll learn something. All right, the chronology of ancient and medieval history in its present form had been created and, for the most part, concluded in a series of fundamental works of the, again, I think that is the 26th through the 28th century that begins, excuse me, yeah, that's right, with the writings of Joseph Istus Scaliger, 1540 to 69, called The Founder of Modern Chronology as a Science by the modern chronologist E. Beckerman. And there he is. Now think about this, folks. Stop and think about this. You see this man right here? You're living his thoughts. We all are. Hell of a lot of power when you think about it. The historian is God, because the historian's going to define God and all the events that occur, at least in that historian's lifetime. Weird stuff. So there's an actual portrait of Mr. Joseph Scaliger. The medieval portrait can be seen on above. This is an etching from the Athena Batavia and the book of Johannes Mercus. Scaliger's principal works on chronology are as follows. The Opus Novum, we don't get into that. We'll read it in the English. For the most part, the body of his work was concluded by Dionysius Petavius. The best known book of the latter is the title of De Doctrina Temporium, Paris. Now, this seems a little extraneous. I get it. But folks, what Fomenko is saying in his works here, they screwed with history in the medieval time. They screwed with the dates, events. In fact, they recreated history. Now, that's really interesting, because if you can recreate the past, that means you control the future. I want to get into a little bit more of it. Like I said, he uses a lot of this for references, but he's calling it the Scalarian chronology. As we will be pointed out, this version wasn't the only one existing. The veracity has been questioned by the eminent scientists, and what they are finding out, it's very clear that this cat altered time. It's amazing to see how history has come about. And I tell you, the vast majority of us, I'm holding up my hand, we're really ignorant. I mean, we really are. I mean, I got a birth certificate that tells me that I was born in the year of our Lord. Isn't that interesting? Of 1955. May not be accurate at all. In fact, it isn't accurate. So I really can't tell you when I was born, because I don't have an accurate date. I don't have a point of reference that can be validated and the veracity tested and be proven to be in fact correct. And you start reading about these cats. Now, I'm just scanning through here again. It's really interesting because he starts doing this work. This man went through calculations that, well, I wouldn't have the tenacity to do, but he did. And what he began to find out was that you see, the Middle Ages, if you want to call them the Dark Ages, were exactly that. The vast majority of humanity was ignorant. They didn't have schools. They were primarily agrarian in their culture. A large percentage of humanity was still nomadic. But it's these cats, particularly in the church. The church, the Catholic Church, has more sin upon it. If sin exists, whoa. I mean, those people have literally changed things. Now, this is interesting because this is St. Jerome visiting the library in Caesarea. And when I came across this, I thought, this is the son of a bitch that really screwed things up. This cat was a forger, a fraud, and an intellectual imbecile. Because of this cat, we live in the paradigm of the duality of Lucifer, Satan. This is the cat that brought it on. He changed history. He changed time. Because what we found out, particularly when you have these small enclaves of scribes, that's what they're called, translators. They are the knowledge of mankind. Because the mass of mankind is ignorant. They're spreading the cow shit out on the land and then turning it over by hand in order to grow food. These cats, they don't have to work at all. They get to play around and pontificate the greatness of their knowledge and how they and they alone will interpret and speak for history. And we today take it as gospel. Yep. And the more Fomenko got into this, the more he began to find some problems with the dating itself, the chronology. You have the Roman chronology, who blended in basically the Grecian chronology, which, when we can get right back down to, was again Alexander's Hellenism and the impact that that Alexander the Great had on time. I was told his greatest pinnacle of his young life was around 333 BCE. And then after there, everything went to hell in a handbasket. But again, and if you want the book, I'll be more than happy to send it to you. And it's detailed. The guy has really gone into a lot of the calculations. I just found the narrative really interesting because as he continued to look at these chronologies and the fact that the clerical chronologists, for instance, he says here of the Occidental Church, have deified the endeavors of their predecessors. See, that's the problem, man. When you bit into the apple, man, and you're all for the team, you're totally converted. You are indoctrinated, baby. You're going to propagate this. And that's what they did. Why? Because back in the day, if you didn't get accepted by the church or by the king or other thing close associated with that, you were out there you were going to be spreading the manure. And no one liked that. That's hard work. Much more better to come in here and kiss someone else's ass and say, yeah, this is exactly what history happened. This is what happened 500 years ago on this exact date. This is city, and this is exactly what happened. Really? So why is there only one record? Only your record. They say that that's why the Vatican won't open up their vaults. And this is what the charge is against the church. You've altered that which God, this is not my narrative, this is the narrative that's being basically assumed here, is that you altered what God had perfected. And woe be your ass. So again, this man has done more of the research. And if you're really into research and want to have multiple references as to where this is all coming from, he's got it. If you think about, for instance, the royal family, when they came into existence, it was critically important that, excuse me, I'm just going to get out of here for a minute, that they had their place in history. And if you control everything, you're going to develop a narrative that's going to reflect your particular ideology. And then the problem is if you have 2, 3, 4 generations down the line who suddenly pick up the books that you had your scribes in your court working on, and then they insert a date. Now, we have no way to validate the date other than the fact that's now in this document that can in fact be dated to the date. And if I'm 4 generations down the line, I'm going to use this as an historical document to validate my thesis or my work. Because I can now use my work as a comparative document to the document that I am holding up as historically accurate and has been validated as such. I can say this. I grew up in the Vietnam era. I didn't go. On my 18th birthday was the last year of the draft. And my number was like 290. It was way down there. So, and they weren't taking any more people in. I had a lot of friends that went to Vietnam. I know what the political environment was. Why? Because I got my ass tear gassed for protesting. I can tell you what a baton feels like in the back of your back. It hurts, knocks the damn breath out of you. And then you get kicked into the nuts. So I know that feeling. And I know what I was protesting. But if I read the history books today, I don't know what Vietnam they're talking about. I don't know what political ideology they were basing this on, but that's not what I experienced with the people of my era. So what's up? It's like, man, they're rewriting history right here before us. And that's the strange thing. I mean, is the fact that we know it. I mean, you read these textbooks and you're going, wait a minute. Where the hell they get that at? That didn't happen that way. And here we are. Jenny, it does hurt. Have a sense you may have tasted it. It's not good. And I'll tell you a little trick that we learned back in the days when we were heading to a protest. We carried milk with us, in the little cartons, because that helps immensely. I can just tell you, it really does. So in case you're going to go out and protest and get some tear gas, these are some of the things you can think about. Charlie, absolutely. Crosby, Stills, 4 dead in Ohio. Yeah, absolutely. Jules, you are a wise mom. Love it. Flight Risk, how you doing? Well, you're not just late. You just, catching the bus as it's already been down a little bit. People only tend to only risk themselves physically when they feel that their alternate is worth that risk. Yeah, we did. I mean, I had a lot of friends that went to Vietnam, and one guy I remember, Grady, he was a surfer, man. I did a lot of surfing. I mean, we didn't have much surf in the Texas Gulf Coast, but we liked thinking we were. And and Grady was just a cool guy. I mean, he was funny. He was intellectual. When he would get stoned, he would just, get real philosophical. And he was just a genuinely nice guy. Got drafted. And I don't know, he apparently made infantry, and he came back, and he wasn't the same person anymore. I mean, just whoever Grady was that went there was not the same Grady that came back. And that was part of the problem. And it was all for profit. Everything we're experiencing today is because someone's making a buck off it. There's some politician, some bureaucrat who is selling stock illegally, who has bought into a company at a discounted price on the strike price of the stock. And by allowing certain laws to be passed and certain favors to be passed along, you have politicians who are making money hand over fist. And that's why you protest. And it's the same damn thing that happens over and over and over again. It's the same play, just different players. So there's nothing wrong with civil disobedience, particularly when it's validated. So Charlie said they programmed it. Yeah, it just really sucked. I got to tell you, it and there were other people who experienced the same thing. And I had a lot of friends who came back, and war sucks. It just sucks, and it's something I wish our species would learn. Killing is wrong. It's really bad for humans. Murder, it's not healthy for us, but we're so damn good at it. I mean, look how countries treat their citizens. Boy, did we get off on a tangent on this one. Woo! Oh man. But I'm a hippie. I think I came into this realm as a hippie. You know, if the Yeshua dude actually lived, he was a hippie. You know, probably met him at a couple of the communes I lived on. Who knows? There was one cat that I knew that, man, he had a special something about him, but um, yeah, it is. Revolt Records, have you heard my new song? I have not. Send us a link and we will. Yeah, Deborah. Yeah. Vivian, I don't know where it sends the soul, but it ain't a good place. I have this theory, and boy, I mean, forget the rest of the topic, pick up it tomorrow. But so I've been giving a lot of thought to this phenomenon that we're recording. I've talked about this before about the shadow people. I think that's where the souls go that have really screwed up. They go into the in-between land between the living and the dead. And they can't interface with either. They're just a shadow. You think about that. That would screw with your head. Woof. I mean, hello. But think about it. Their smile says, I'm a result of a couple of hippies. We love them. That's what love is about. Yeah. But this is where I believe the people who really screw over other people knowingly, repeatedly, and get this joy out of it, all for a buck, this is where they're heading. And I'm convinced that there's different places of the Shadowland. I mean, we don't know all the other places of existence, but I'm convinced that that's potentially, it's just a theory of how these shadow people exist. Because you think about it. They can't interact. They're no longer alive, but yet they're stuck in between here. That's hell. That's all I got to say. What was that one I saw Paranormal caught on camera was the guy who was a security guard down in Louisiana, I believe. Yeah, I believe it was in Louisiana. And he went into one of the mortuaries, and the conversation that he picked up, and there was nobody there, just dead people. They stacked the bodies in those mausoleums. And the voice said, help me. And he goes, who's there? You're not supposed to be here, security. And then the weirdest thing said, I can see you, but you can't see me. And then he started getting a little freaked out and he screams, where are you? Who are you? And then the voice says, I'm stuck. Well, and that's one of those conversations you go, okay, what's happened here? There's obviously, this was a paranormal experience. He got it on the camera. So the voice says, help, then says, I can see you, but you can't see me. Which if he really had his mindset, I'd probably go to each one of these caskets. I mean, and find out what's happening here. And then when the voice said, I'm stuck, I mean, that just leaves a lot to going, okay, what are you stuck in? I mean, they say that's the big problem, is that they get stuck. And I keep thinking, so what are they getting stuck about? I'm just reading. Yeah, I know, Julie. Isn't that weird? I actually have it recorded because I I play these things back because when you look at these shadow figures, I mean, the one that began to really add to my hypothesis on this was when the cleaning crew went on. It looked like a United jet to me, looked like it was a standard 737 400. And when the cleaning crew was coming on, and as they're walking, because they walk in from the tail end of the plane, a shadow figure up by the cockpit. And I thought, now this is weird. So what spirit being would want to be on a plane? I'm trying to think, well, maybe someone who passed over who was either a pilot, maybe part of the air crew. I mean, were they so rotten? I mean, I've met some stewardesses that, woof, and the problem is they have the power to get you arrested. And if you got one that has a real bad attitude, ain't gonna have a fun flight. Y'all know what I mean. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe there was one that was just a real, you put in the rest of the words and they're stuck now. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay. I'm just reading it. Yeah, this is the best time of the year. I agree with that. Folks, this has been fun. I actually had a lot of other things, but hey, listen, as John Candy said, I just go down the mighty river as it flows, as it goes. It makes it so much merrily, merrily, life is but a dream. Sarah says, can I please be a shadow figure for a couple of months to scare the poop out of my ex-mother-in-law? Please, please. I mean, what's your theory? I mean, they're here. They're all over the world. I have to say, I think India, the continent of India, the nation that's one haunted place, man. I don't know what the hell's going on over there, but they got the damn dead walking, highways that, they look like they're draped in a sheet, but the damn things are alive. And apparently they're well known. And if you're out driving on those apparently deserted roads in India, you're likely to come upon one of these. And there's not just one of them. They seem to be traveling in packs. It's weird. Jill says, I've seen shadow figures. They don't bother me. I have seen spirits come through here. I have not seen a shadow person. I would pick up on that. There's a lot of spirit activity that goes through this house, but and I think that's because there's a portal here. I mean, if this is what they need, well, fine. I'll find out in time. I don't know what time, but in time. All right. Now see someone. I love that. 99 and you have one down. We love that. It's okay. But anyway, some people are really deep into their religion. I know it's difficult. Been there, done that, but we all having a good time. David says, I see them often. Isn't it, David? Do you speak to them? Or Jules, have you ever spoke to them? Because I haven't seen anyone on camera yet actually speak to them. I don't know. Maybe and the thing that's interesting, I've never seen two shadow people at the same time. Yeah, Martin, how do you say in Pakistan as well? It kind of raises the hair back. I mean, can you imagine you're driving down and you always got that mist. In India, it's hot, and I understand it's got humidity there. And so you're driving along and then you see something up a road, whereas these beings, they're more than one. I've never seen them just by themselves, but I've never seen two shadow people. And then all of a sudden you drive by and you're going, wait a minute. You put the car in reverse, you put the bright lights on, and when you put the bright lights on, they notice you. And then they start coming for you. What? What? Not going to happen. Thank you very much. All right. I appreciate it, folks. Tune in to Nina the Mystics channel. She's on in an hour for sure. And thank you. It's been a great conversation. It's a great coffee shop. That's all I got to say. I happen to drink herbal tea, but you know, the idea. Lisa says you can see spirits standing next to you during the day. You know, you do a double take. Yeah, I would too. It's like, what? And I've told many of them, because Lynn has actually seen them. She said, did you see that? And they're always coming into the office here. And I said, yeah. I said, I think somehow that there's something opened up here. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be harmful. So, you know, anyway. Al, I can't say that, but I agree with you. David Barry, thank you, brother. I miss you. I have to get you back on. We have to get you on. And I've finally getting caught up on email. I have a number of them. Robert V, I got yours, and I'm with you. Wayne's Coffee Shop. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like one that would be very inviting. It's like, hun, Wayne's Coffee Shop. Do you think that sounds like a good place? Why, it's got a good vibe about it. Sure. Thank you, Julie. Much love to the Soul Tribe here. Y'all are all beautiful. It's what makes it. I mean, I am, again, as I said at the beginning of the show, I am a much more wealthier man because of all of you. So my spirit being says, thank y'all. Appreciate it. Trina says, hello, my love. Best coffee shop in my world. Oh, there we go. Jenny, much love to you as well. All right, folks. Thank you. It turned out to be a much more in-depth conversation than even I was planning for. But, you know, I think that's how the spirit moves, you know. That's all I got to say. Deborah Truax, much love to y'all, to you as well, hon. Jules and Russell and Nina and Susie Q and Jenny and Teresa, all the rest of you, Big Al and Perry. I haven't forgotten you, brother. I hear you there. Seeker of Truth sees them all the time. Most people don't believe me because they can't see them. That would be, yeah. I agree. Okay. Much love, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and be good to yourself.